Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is insane. I'm going to do something I normally don't do when I give you my monologue. I've actually written it out. Normally, I come on here with a thought and I go on an unscripted rant. But this one was too important and I wanted to make sure that I got everything in that I wanted to get in. Because sometimes when I'm done, I think back on what I said and I should have said this, should have left that out, I should have added these two things. So today, I'm rather scripted. So from the top, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is insane. This week, she made the cover of GQ magazine, which is an insult to the IQ of the readership of GQ. At first, I thought AOC was nothing more than just some little socialist twit who saw the world like an endless TikTok post. She loved posting selfies and rambling sessions of herself drinking wine while cooking dinner in her DC apartment, where she would complain about Republicans, climate change, and was even freaked out by her own garbage disposal, which apparently she had never seen with, oh my God, what is this? She, she went to the border to protest Trump putting kids in cages. Ironically, that policy started under Obama and it continues to this day under Joe Biden. But AOC has not returned to Texas for another photo op. And it didn't help that she was caught in an uncropped photo standing in front of a fence in front of nothing. She was not actually at a detention center. She wore a dress with "Tax the Rich" stitched across her derriere. She raised a power fist, breaking free from her invisible handcuffs when she was not arrested at a protest over abortion. She partied unmasked for New Year's Eve in vile red Florida while demanding that blue New York remain masked. She posted of her near death experience during the so called Capitol riots, and she insists that every man who mocks her or criticizes her secretly lusts for her. See, I always saw her as this social media creation and mainstream media sensation. When she had been in office less than 6 months, a book came out about her, detailing for children all the things that she had accomplished in passing the Green New Deal, when in reality, it didn't pass, and she is nothing more herself than a work of fiction and zero accomplishments. She was raised in an upper middle class privilege and not in the hood. She's an intellectual lightweight and a rock star of the entitled generation. She once explained that unemployment was so low under President Trump because everyone was working two jobs. Okay. She told us that we did not need to fear a nuclear strike from North Korea because, after all, and I'm quoting, their time zone is like 6 hours ahead of us, so we'll have time to prepare and defend ourselves. Again, I always thought of her simply as a moron who got elected because she is from a small voting district. But her recent comments in GQ, along with re examining some of the things that she has said previously, has caused me to go back and rethink AOC. See, I believe she is actually delusionally insane. A sociopath who is in a place of influence and power. And if any of you have ever been in a toxic relationship with an insane person, it unwraps a whole new world of hell. Ocasio Cortez tells GQ that it wasn't until her second term where the Democratic Party started treating her like a member of Congress and not an accident. And while she has taken these incidents with grace and vigor, that's GQ's words, not mine, with grace and vigor, it's obvious the years of direct harassment have gotten to her. Quoting AOC, imagine working a job and your bosses don't like you. Yeah, many of us have. And the folks on your team are suspicious of you. That says more about you than it does them, AOC. And then the competing company, direct quote, is trying to kill you. Really? The GOP is trying to kill her. You know, I'm reminded of a record that used to be played occasionally on the Dr. Demento show. They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, hee hee, ha ha, ho ho, hee hee, to the funny farm where life is beautiful and everything is happy all the time. The GOP is trying to kill her. The article also recounts her fear on January the 6th that it brought back memories of her own sexual assault, which that was the first time any of us heard of that. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to pause right here. I don't believe all women. I believe evidence. And I certainly don't believe women that have a track record of not being, what's the word I'm groping for here? Truthful. The same goes for a man. Does anyone, based on AOC's track record of hyperbole, outright distortions, and fabrication, does anyone really believe this actually happened to her? She wants to be Me Too. Just like 2 months ago, she declared, remember, she was a Native American, an Indian. And that's okay, because a few months ago, addressing a group of Jewish political backers, she talked about how proud she was of her own Hebrew family lineage. Apparently, she is more than just multi-ethnic. She is ethnic non-binary. No, AOC is just batcrack crazy. She further asserts that she will never be president. Why? And here was the gist of the article for GQ. Because America hates women. Yeah, that's it. Couldn't possibly be because you're insane, you're incompetent, and no one in their right mind would vote for you to hold the most powerful office on the entire planet. It has to be, we just hate all women. How many states in the U.S. have female governors? How many of those states are red states? How many women serve in the House of Representatives, the United States Senate, Congress? How many of those women are conservative? Does she know that it was her party working with the media that absolutely ravaged Sarah Palin? And what about one of her own heroes, one of her own icons, Hillary Rodham Clinton? She ever kept track of what Hillary did to every woman that ever tried to come forward with their Me Too story about Bill? Hillary is not the president because she is a woman. Hillary is not the president because she's a criminal. It doesn't matter that she's been able to, because of her connections with the deep state in the swamp, she's been able to evade justice and gets to, quote, walk around free. The American people know the deal. She can't be trusted. She's corrupt to the core, and she lacks any real conviction or moral clarity on anything. That's why she's not president. It's not just because she's a female. AOC went on to say, people ask me questions about the future, and realistically, I can't even tell you if I'm going to be alive in September, and that weighs very heavy on me. See, this is more than just personal self absorption on her part. This is more than narcissism. Her focus that everyone is out to get her, to do her physical harm, to even kill her. This is paranoid. This is paranoid delusion. People do not mock your ideas, Alexandria, because you're a woman or they want to hurt you. They mock your ideas because they're bad. They're really bad ideas. All right, take the little bits of her Green New Deal wet dream fantasy that have been enacted, where certain governors like Gavin Newsom went all in and said, yeah, and he signs into law that by 2035, gas-powered vehicles cannot be bought or sold in the state of California. He did that, I believe, was on August the 25th, and 6 days later, his administration had to release instructions on don't plug your electric cars in to charge, you're taxing the power grid. He gave a public address about the fact that temperatures are in the triple digits and we know you want to enjoy air conditioning, but we can't handle it. So set your thermostat to 78. I know when I come in from 100-degree heat, walking into 80-degree heat is so refreshing. Everything about AOC that by anyone that has been taken seriously and acted upon has been a disaster. Alexandria, that's why you get attacked. That's why you get mocked. That's why you get ridiculed. And to California, I got a question for you. What's the difference between you, California, and the Titanic? The lights were still on the Titanic when it sank. AOC, at best, is nothing more than an opportunist who loves to associate herself with real victims as a way of getting attention on herself, to boost her ego and her own self-importance. In other words, a narcissist. But AOC is at worst a delusional person, detached from reality, who has been elected to an office where she is allowed to make decisions which affect millions and millions of people. Now that's scary.